What's up, Hoopers? We're getting closer to that NBA trade deadline on February 9th, so I got this question to pose for you before we jump into today's show. Do you want your favorite team to make a trade? Doesn't even have to be trading for a big piece. Maybe you want to trade away a piece. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. If you want your team to make a trade, give me a Y for yes. If you don't, give me an N for no. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham. Like I mentioned, the NBA trade deadline going to be here before we know it. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's start with the Toronto Raptors. There's a report out there that Toronto is interested in a pair of bigs, Phoenix's DeAndre Ayton and Indiana's Myles Turner. So will they pull a trigger on a trade? Well, let's compare these two guys first and kind of fill you guys in on how they've been playing this year. Points per game, well, pretty much identical. Rebounding is in Ayton's favor. Blocks heavily in Turner's favor, averaging almost 2.5 a game. Both are having great splits from the field, but Turner, man, 39% from three. Myles Turner is having the best year of his career. I mean, it's really remarkable to see, especially dealing with the injuries he did last year where he missed about half of the season, whereas Ayton, still a good player. He's kind of flatlined, though. He's kind of 17-10 at this point. You know, that's kind of what you get out of him, which is still good, but Turner, man, he's really, really broken out here this year, and he's still only 26. Feels like he's been around for a while, but still a young player. Now, who do you guys think is the better big man? Type DA for DeAndre Ayton, MT for Myles Turner. Let us know in the comment section below. DA for Ayton, MT for Turner. I think both would be good fits in Toronto as they need kind of that 5 spot filled on that roster. Now, another report suggests that Toronto is open to trading Gary Trent Jr., which kind of leads you to connecting some dots here of Gary Trent being a potential chip in a trade for a big man. Now, Gary Trent, not having the most efficient season of his career, but still shooting 36% from three, averaging 18.5 points per game. Problem is he doesn't give you much creation, doesn't rebound the basketball that much. So, you know, he's kind of strictly a scorer and a decent defender. But I do think Trent and a pick or two for Ayton or Turner could be a decent trade package if Toronto's looking to upgrade its front court. They've kind of got a bevy of guards and wings, so moving on from a guy like Gary Trent could make some sense if they are that eager to land someone at the 5 spot. So keep an eye on the Raptors, who are kind of on that fence of buying or selling leading up to the deadline, which is in a couple of weeks. Now, subscribe to the channel because we will cover all of the latest trade rumors leading up to the trade deadline on February 9th. And speaking of the deadline, we'll probably start bringing back our NBA Live shows pretty soon, and we'll be live for the NBA trade deadline as well, so don't miss that. Myself, Chase Sr., you might see Will Scott, Marshall Green in the fold as well as the rest of the Chat Sports team also, so subscribe. We're going to be your home for the NBA trade deadline. Let's talk about Luka Doncic and the Mavs. Now, Luka, he's not getting traded right now. He's not requested a trade, so let's not jump to conclusions, people. But could he be a little, unsettled, a little unhappy? I definitely think so. There's a report from Tim MacMahon that I want to get to here in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about today's sponsor, and that is BetUS. BetUS, place to go if you want to go bet on some basketball games, NFL playoff games, whatever it is. BetUS is the place to do it. Go create an account today. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Chat125. Divisional round matchups in the NFL this weekend should be a lot of fun. There's some money to be made. Go to Chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Chat125. All right, here's Tim MacMahon saying that sources said Doncic, who hasn't shown a desire to be involved in personnel matters in the past, has strongly indicated he wants the Mavs to upgrade before the February 9th trade deadline. Of course, that's easier said than done for a team that still owes the Knicks a pick to complete the Porzingis deal. The Mavs are well aware of the modern NBA math problem. Unhappy stars who have only 2 guarantees years remaining on their contracts have leverage if they are looking to leave. For reference, see Anthony Davis and the Pelicans or James Harden and the Houston Rockets. Now, I do want to mention this, and Timmy Mack had some fun with this. Mark Cuban said, Tim MacMahon got it completely wrong. This is not true whatsoever. Feels a little convenient for Cuban to come out and say that, but, I mean, think about it. Luka is having this unreal season where he's averaging 34, 9, and 9, shooting 50% from the field, 35% from three, and Dallas is barely above 500 because, yeah, you couldn't figure out the Jalen Brunson deal. You lost him. Christian Wood's solid. Spencer Dinwiddie's solid, but they don't have that co-star. This goes back over a decade, guys. Like, the Mavericks have not been able to get a legit number 2 next to Dirk and now next to Luka Doncic. The Mavs need to get Luka some help. They tried it with Porzingis. It's not their fault that didn't work out. Injuries and other factors played a role in that. But it's time to try again. You got to try and get someone in here next to Luka Doncic that can help this team out because you're not wasting a generational player at this point. Maybe the conference finals last year, there's been progress, but 3, 4, 5 years go by and you're not making the finals. Those are missed opportunities. And I said this on our Mavericks channel. I'll say it here. Luka's not going to be like Dirk and just be blindly loyal for over a decade. Like, you're going to have to get him pieces that can help him compete for championships year in and year out. And right now, this is not a championship contender. Will Luka Doncic eventually request a trade from the Mavs? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think we're at least 2 years away from that, but say they're one and done in the playoffs this year and next year, I think before that 24-25 season, it could definitely be a possibility. So get your votes in, Y for yes or in for no. Let's talk about Rui Hachimura, who's kind of become a hot name on the NBA trade market as the Wizards have reportedly been in discussions with several teams on his availability. Here's Charania of The Athletic. Hachimura, who is set to become a restricted free agent in July, has drawn interest from several Western Conference teams in need of scoring, league sources said. The Wizards also have received interest from multiple teams on potential deals involving star forward Kyle Kuzma. Moving Hachimura would reduce a logjam at the forward spots and place the franchise in a better position financially and focus on re-signing Kuzma and potentially re-sign Kristaps Porziņģis in the offseason. Now, Kuzma has had a breakout year. I think he's averaging like 21, 22 a game. KP's been solid for them as well, as he's been mostly healthy this year. And it sounds like, okay, if you're going to bring back Kuzma and Porzingis, well, you're probably not going to be able to pay a guy like Rui Hachimura, so maybe you can trade him for a first-round pick, clear out some of that cap, and, have extra money for those other guys moving forward. Now, these are some potential teams that we came up with that could make sense for Hachimura. Los Angeles Lakers, they're looking to add some depth, some solid role players. The New York Knicks could use some front court punch. Miami Heat, the Mavericks, JaVale McGee's been a bust, so getting a guy like Hachimura could potentially help there. The Portland Trailblazers could be another good fit for his services as well. Now, which team do you guys believe should trade for Rui Hachimura? Let us know in the comments. I like all those teams that we mentioned. I think he's a guy that can start or come off the bench. But I think a team that would trade for him would need to probably be a team that's willing to pay him for a new deal this offseason. So keep that in mind as well. That could potentially take a team like the Lakers out of the mix. All right, that's going to do it for NBA Now by Chat Sports. Be sure to subscribe as, like I said, that deadline's getting closer and closer. Our NBA content is going to ramp up here, so you don't want to miss it. I'm Harrison Graham signing off. We'll see you guys soon.